It's a typical day in the sports center when out of nowhere, one of the men starts vomiting up blood. He's taken to the hospital without a lot of thought. However, as the days pass, different guys also become ill, and they won't ever recover. Gradually, all men on Earth fall ill to a serious virus that doesn't affect ladies. After 8 years, just ladies are left on the planet. In New Zealand, an organization known as Wellness led by Lane has modified the little town of Hero Valley into what they think about a paradise with legitimate education, medical care, and obligatory leave for those going through Shark Week. Wellness is additionally accountable for running the repopulation lottery, which is utilized to conclude the following ladies that will get pregnant. Utilizing the seed left in banks from before the virus hit, Pip works in health as a secretary and is an immense supporter of their way of thinking, considering Lane to be her idol. Her closest friend Jamie lost her child and husband to the virus and is frantic to have another child, so she generally goes with Pip to the wellness community events trusting she'll be picked. Anyway, Jamie's sister by marriage Alex thinks wellness has introduced a very abusive system and is against wellness. During one of the local events, Alex tosses a beverage at Lane and gets captured by Officer Constance. Alex is taken to Constance's office and she starts teasing the officer. It's undeniable these two ladies know each other well and have done this previously. When they're finished, Constance asks as to whether she might want to go away for the end of the week together at some point, yet Alex reflects with a joke. At that point, somebody comes searching for Constance, so she needs to finish her task. Alex brings up this as the reason they can't have a typical relationship before Constance uses a gun to embed a bliss ball into the base of Alex's neck. Meantime, the lottery declares that Jamie has chosen to have a child. Hours after, Jamie is on her ranch showing Pip the process to inseminate cows when Constance appears to drop Alex, who is totally delighted and sees nothing. Since the present destructive incident was a recurrent offense, the dose Alex was given will last for 5 days. The following day, Jamie goes to her doctor's checkup and meets Viv, who had been chosen multiple times but never got to the following stage. Jamie didn't realize there was another stage, so she gets anxious during the checkup. However, Dr. Harvey guarantees her well-being is exceptional and her possibilities to be chosen are extremely high. She also advises her that she'll lose the child assuming it's a boy, but Jamie is fine with taking the risk. A short time later, she goes to visit a working girl at a bawdy house. Also, makes her wear Jackson's clothes to imagine she's along with her husband once more. In a little while, Pip is preparing a few snacks for an organization meeting and coincidentally drops a plate. When she moves under the table to get the snack, she hears Lane and Harvey enter the room and have an odd discussion. Harvey said whether they ought to have quality or quantity. Also, Lane says a plentiful future is her main concern. At that point, Pip makes her presence known and Lane stops the discussion, going to Pip in a sweet yet manipulative manner to remind all her certainty. On the ranch, Alex finds notes she left for herself on how to continue when she's pleasured since she's experienced this multiple occasions, subsequent to taking care of herself. What's more, sucking on a tank of dental anesthesia, Alex goes to the washroom and used a scalpel to eliminate the bliss ball from her body. Then Alex goes to visit her mom, who was sent off a retirement home after Wellness blissed her for all time for criticizing them. At night, Jamie and Pip finds the blood-stained washroom yet no Alex in the house. Believing she's still delighted and a cut to herself, they frantically go searching for her. However, when they get in the truck, Pip gets diverted and hits somebody. Briefly they assume they killed Alex, yet Alex picks that second to appear. The girls really don't know who else could be on the homestead at this hour. What's more, when they check the body, they're stunned to find it is a man. The girls drag Bobby into the stable, and Jamie can't resist the urge to cry since she continues remember him of Jackson. Bobby's oblivious and has an injury on his leg, so Alex and Jamie deal with it while disregarding Pip, who demands they ought to hand the person to Wellness. The following morning, the girls are awakened by the arrival of a Wellness vehicle. Jamie recalls that they're putting her home through a baby-safe inspection, meaning she and Pip should manage this while Alex stays in the barn since she's supposed to still be delighted. Pip and Jamie answer the inspector's inquiries, and at whatever point they hear a noise from the barn, they pin it on the cows. Alex checks Bobby's bag and tracks down a clipping about her mom's progressive discoveries in the dairy industry, which can't be an occurrence. Out of nowhere, Bobby awakens and pushes Alex away to get his things. Then he attempts to leave, so Alex jumps on him to stop him. A fight follows and Bobby effectively overwhelms her. However, Alex figures out how to get the electric cattle nudge and takes Bobby out with it. When the inspector comes to the barn to check the noise, Alex has hide away Bobby and claims to be bliss to get the inspector to leave at last. Minutes after, Bobby awakens to regard himself as restricted. Alex requests to know why. He has a picture of her mom, yet Bobby will not talk and isn't terrified of the push. Alex chooses attempt to put the bliss ball into him to make him talk. However, when Bobby begins struggling and asking for mercy, Alex is remember her mom and steps back. Annoyed about the memory, Alex destroys the bliss ball. Meantime, Jamie goes to her second medical checkup, as it were, to figure out she hasn't come to the following stage. Crushed, She calls Pip to request her assistance. What's more, Pip guarantees she'll attempt to make some things happen. Pip goes to discuss with Lane, explaining Jamie amazing candidates and thinks there could be some misunderstanding. Lane guarantees she'll look into it with her own manipulative pleasantness. A few hours after, Lane lets Pip know that for sure there had been a misunderstanding and Jamie ought to have never been placed into the lottery in any case. Simultaneously, Jamie visits Dr. Harvey to know why she was denied. However, Harvey says she had endorsed Jamie. Furthermore, has no clue about who changed it. Back to Alex, she's tell Bobby that her mom was for all time blissed for saying there were male survivors. Consequently, Bobby affirms she wasn't insane. There are more male survivors like him and Alex's mom was the way to everything. Presently she's good and gone. Men are being pursued. When Jamie gets back home she attempts to keep herself occupied. However, she can't quit crying over the denied application. She's out of nowhere frightened by Alex, who comes to merely inform her that Bobby knows things and she'll bring wellness down because of him. Jamie thinks Bobby can be the solution for her concerns as well and goes to see him, placing a cup in his hand as she requests his seed. Then she starts dancing to motivate him, but she's still excessively upset and starts crying. Pip listens to her and hauls her of the barn thinking she's insane. Yet when she finds out how significant this is to Jamie, Pip goes barn to get the task was finished without anyone else. Minutes after, Pip carries the cup with the seed to Jamie, who utilizes the cow insemination devices to put the seed inside herself. Meantime, not a long way from the farm, a hunter utilizes a few pictures she took from surveillance cameras to track Bobby. The following morning, Pip asks Bobby for more of his seed just in case the group didn't work. Assuming they believe that he should team up, Bobby needs to be dealt with better consequently. So Pip permits him to go into the house and clean up. She additionally loans him some clothes. A while later she carries the seed to Jamie, being mindful to stay away from Alex. Hears what they're doing. Minutes after, Alex brings food and brew for Bobby, requesting that he play Never Have I Ever, determined to get him drunk and thinking getting more information. In the end, Bobby fools Alex into drinking more and cutting his ropes, allowing him the opportunity to get away. Anyway, the injury on his leg and Pip's little jeans don't permit Alex to run well and he winds up falling on a heap of cow faces. Feeling crushed, he returns to the barn. Lastly shows Alex that he has a telephone SIM card that a friend of his gave to him before he was pursued down. This card should direct him to a protected spot for survivors. Also, Alex consents to help. Meantime, Jamie is going to get the seed in herself when she recalls Viv, who never got to the following stage. Declining to be self-centered, Jamie chooses to place the seed in a cooler and leaves it at Viv's doors as a donation. The following morning, Alex brings Bobby an old telephone from her mom's and they put the SIM card in it, yet they just find a message that says rise from an obscure number. Pip goes to work and discovers that Viv has brought the cup of seed to Lane. However, rather than seeing her as a saver, Lane makes Constance bliss Viv. Pip calls home to caution his friend that Wellness know about Bobby. Then she surges back to the farm, where the Wellness vehicles are as of now showing up. Fortunately, Alex, Jamie, and Bobby are stowing away. Furthermore, Pip rapidly goes along with them to scold Jamie for utilizing the farm coolers. That's what a contention results. Alex stops getting down on Pip for abusing Bobby and Jamie for attempting to get pregnant in secret, which she could never have hid away from Wellness when the belly began to develop. Presently they can't return to the farm, and Alex is disturbed because it's the last memory she had of her brother. Out of nowhere the telephone begins ringing and Bobby hears a male voice telling him to rise prior to giving him directions to find the safe house for men. Bobby rapidly writes it on paper, yet so does the hunter, whose telephone permits her to peep into any discussion. Because of the reality, there are basically no telephone lines left in the ongoing world. Bobby and the girl get away from in Jamie's vehicle and make it to the safe house, which ends up being the sports center where everything started. But even later they wait there for 10 hours. No one appears. Bobby and Alex leave the vehicle to ease themselves. Furthermore, unexpectedly they notice a red light on Alex's forehead. It's the hunter, who has at long last found them. Both of them run back to the vehicle as the hunter pursues them, and Bobby tells the girls this is the woman that killed his friend 14 days prior. Pip gets enraged since Bobby didn't let them know he was being followed, and she gets occupied, unintentionally taking the street that goes into Sink Fest. This is the festival that celebrates Women's Shark Week, and this street is one way in particular. So presently they need to remain and find way to escape. They hide Bobby under a cover and imagine it's an old woman while a valet takes the vehicle. Bobby needs a better costume, however, so they take a mascot suit prior to attempting to hide in the crowd, just for the gathering to end up unintentionally parting. Jamie figures she can see Jackson and follows him to one of the games, where she out of nowhere starts to vomit. The girl sitting close to her brings up Jamie's pregnant, but Jamie won't trust it. Anyway, when she gets off the game she continues to hurl meaning it wasn't dazedness from the game, she truly is pregnant. Jamie additionally sees that the people she believed was Jackson really is only a girl wearing comparable clothes. Pip bumps upon one of the women from the committee, who reminds her she had elected to assist with the festival. Presently Pip has no option yet to work at the tent with the face paint, however when she sees the hunter has shown up, she takes off. She hides in one more tent and bumps upon Lane, who utilizes sweet words to control her once more, encouraging a situation on the committee if she accepts to make the best decision. The elder woman from the retirement home are additionally brought to the festival. Alex approaches her mom to check whether she can recognize Bobby. At that point, the hunter shows up, and Bobby takes off to hide in the mirror maze. The girl rejoin and follow him there, where they inadvertently split up again since the mirrors play with their brains. For instance, Jamie sees herself with a pregnant belly. After heaps of knocking their heads against the mirrors, the girls rejoin and perceive how the hunter sedates Bobby prior to taking him. Following them is hard a result of the maze, yet Pipe utilizes face paint to mark the corridors they've as of now taken. In the long run they emerge and find the hunter taking Bobby in her truck, so Jamie pursues them and hops on the rear of the truck to be taken as well, while Alex and Pip get into their own vehicle to follow them. Alex checks out the truck for something she can utilize furthermore, finds a lot of tranquilizer darts. She likewise finds a shovel that she takes with her when the hunter comes by an unwanted house and takes Bobby inside. Jamie attempts to stop the hunter, who quickly overwhelms her and takes the shovel from her, yet Jamie likewise brought a bundle of darts. By tossing a lot of them, she figures out how to stir things up around town with something like one and puts her to rest. Subsequently, Jamie takes Bobby in the hunter's truck and lets him know she's pregnant. They leave the mascot suit close to a sign headed for provide Pip and Alex some insight about where they are. Furthermore, in the long run the group reunites. Jamie lets them know what occurred and they're astounded to catch wind of the tranquilizer darts, since that implies the hunter catch Bobby alive. Alex and Jamie need to return Bobby to the directions they got from the telephone. However, Pip ignore them and in a stunning act of treachery, she takes them to wellness, while Alex, Jamie, what's more, Bobby get captured. Lane takes Pip to her new room, reporting she's currently parked for the committee. Alex and Jamie are taken to a cell, and when Lane comes to take all their own things, Alex attempts to save Jamie by declaring she's pregnant. Lane couldn't care less however, and she illuminates them that they'll go through a similar strategy as Alex's mom, who was trapped in this cell as well. A short time later Constance comes to take them to the doctor, crying over what she and Alex might have had since she was falling head over heels for her. Anyway, Alex differs since no relationship can be real if she isn't permitted to feel both the great and the awful. Meantime, Pip joins the feast wearing the fancy dresses Lane gifted her. Everybody regards her as a hero, yet Pip begins feeling terrible when she sees Bobby restricted toward the end of the table. Bobby refused to talk to her but to insult her. However, different women believe they're getting along and get jealous since Bobby had ignored everybody else. Lane unexpectedly stands up and requests that Pip kiss Bobby. However, she's timid and just pecks his cheek. The women start requesting more, making an incensed Bobby push Lane away just for the others get him down and push him onto the table. Constance rapidly goes into the room when she hears the disturbance and is stunned to see Lane asking that Pip get lively with Bobby in front of everybody. Lane additionally used her hand to get Bobby roused. When Pip falters, Lane undermines her with gift her friends if she doesn't comply. At long last show her real nature, Pip jumps on the table and when she sees Lane wearing Jamie's jewelry, she at last snaps and calls the whole group for the terrible people that they are. Lane arranges the officers to arrest Pip. Furthermore, Constance takes her to the surgery room to be bliss for all time as well. The doctor are preparing to do Alex and Jamie, yet Constance lets them know Pip is more important. This is a stunt. Furthermore, when the doctor pivot, Constance takes them out. Then, they wake Alex and Jamie up. Furthermore, Alex accepts to take Constance out with her gun to cover her treachery. Prior to dropping, Constance lets Alex know that she can't stand her. The girls run out of the building and Pip attempts to apologize. However, it isn't enough for Alex and Jamie to pardon her yet. They agree to cooperate for Bobby, yet first they need clothes and weapons. They find a neglected shed with an electrical goad and some dress, permitting them to make a plan. Out and about, Lane is taking Bobby away in her vehicle, and the girls block the way with a cow. When the vehicle stops, Pip thumps Lane out with the push and takes Jamie's jewelry back. Meantime, Alex liberates Bobby from his ties. Anyway, Bobby will not go with them since he has zero faith in Pip. Their contention gives Lane time to awaken and compromise them with a firearm. The girls put themselves among Bobby and the firearm. Also, Pip bounces on the Lane to fight her, making her drop the weapon. As the two women struggled, Alex recovers the goad and shocks Lane for a more drawn-out period, so she's appropriately oblivious this time. While the girls are diverted, Bobby takes off to find the sports center once more. From there no one responses his plea, yet when a camera recognizes his face, a door at long last opens and he gets inside. The girls see people showing up to help Lane and follow Bobby into the building, which offers their area to the hunter. Pip asks for their lives and the hunter remedies her, explaining she doesn't kill men, she safe them. Unexpectedly the door closes and the hunter explains this is definitely not a safe area, it's a trap. Gas starts occupying the room and since all door furthermore, windows are locked, the hunter assists the group with getting away through the ventilation vent. Tragically she can't follow, and prior dying, she tells Alex she's very much like her mom. Alex understands the hunter has similar tattoos as her mother and they've lost a significant partner. The group starts creeping through the vents as the gas follows them. However, ultimately Bobby stalls out and they can't progress. The vents are unstable however, so the group starts shaking them to break them. The thought works and they fall on the floor to find the truth of a frightening room. There are men tied to chair wherever being drained for their seeds while filthy films play on televisions. At that point, Lane and Harvey appear with security officers. They explains they're accumulating seed for when the pre-virus banks run out. That way they'll have the option to control the country. The SIM card Bobby had was all important planned by Wellness. This way survivors come to them as opposed to having to search for them. The man that recorded the messages ends up being Jackson, who Bobby perceived as the friend he naturally suspected was dead. To exacerbate the situation, Jackson is seeing someone with Lane. Bobby gets enraged when he understands Jackson has been double-crossing each man he met. However, when he attempts to go after him, the officers catch Bobby and take him to be drained as well. The end. If you like this story, please subscribe to the channel and like it to motivate me to bring you more stories like this.